All right, today we are going to learn lots of Argentinian Spanish slang, and these will be helpful when you travel to Argentina. If you want to sound like a local, I will introduce you to my friend who will teach us some Argentinian words. Ladies and gentlemen, Marianela. Okay, first, Marianela, you need to tell everyone how we met.
I don't know how we met actually. You were working in a hostel in Sayulita, and I went there for my vacation. So we just make friends.
I was working in a hospital, and Marianela went there for a vacation, and we just hung out, and we also went to Costa Rica after that. Anyway, let's start. What is our first word for today? What are you going to teach us today? Our first phrase.
Well, in Argentina we have many typical phrases. You will find a lot. I will try to teach you some of the most used ones. For example, che is very typical. So che is something that doesn't have really a meaning. For example, when you said in English, dude, I think it's a good comparison. So we'll use it for a very informal way. You never say it to someone it's older or in a job or something, but it's to call someone. For example, I can say, Che Trisha, give me, or Che Trisha, I will call you later or something like that.
Yeah, but you also need to explain where this word came from. Where did this word came from? Why did you start using it in Argentinian Spanish?
If we Argentinians know all the roots of the words. I don't know Che. Che was, of course, Che Guevara. I don't know if Che comes from there. Actually, honestly, I don't know.
South America or Latin America, all speaking Spanish-speaking nations have a different way of speaking Spanish. So explain how Argentine Spanish is so different from the other Latin American countries.
Yeah, actually, we have like many words differently. For example, from Spain, most of the people believes that the Spanish in Argentina, the Spanish speaking, comes from Spain, and actually we have more from Italy, for example. Like a lot of expressions comes from Italy. Well, I have a lot of Spanish friends, and I found when I was living in Canada, I found a lot of difference and huge difference. For example, there is a word, coger. In Spanish from Spain means to take something, but if you say it in Argentina, is, I don't know if I can say the word, but it's actually have sexual relations. It's a fuck. So,
that's our second word, correct. Coger. Coger.
You said you don't use it with the inappropriate public.
Okay, so give an example when to use coger.
Well, actually, when you find a very handsome guy, now it's such a rude word. You never say it, and mostly if you are a lady and want to sound like a lady, never say it.
Okay. This is not a good word.
It's a good one.
Okay, now let's go to our third word. What is our third Argentine slang that we need to know?
Our third Argentinian, for example, it could be cheto, cheta. It's a really used word. You can say it to someone that has a lot of money and dress well. So you will say, this is a cheto, this is a cheta, that cares a lot about its image and all the stuff. It begins in Cordoba. It's a very typical word from Cordoba, but now everybody uses it. Hear about cheto? Did you know it?
No, I haven't used it. It's like fresa in Mexico, no?
Yes, same word. Fresa in Mexico is cheto in Argentina.
Okay, wow, that's very good to know. How about more words for that are easy for our friends? For example, about fiestas or going out or food.
For a party, for example, if you are really drunk, you will say expression "estoy en pedo" or "estás en pedo."
Ajá.
drink a lot. If I say estoy en pedo, it's that I drink too much, I'm drunk.
That you have a hangover.
No, that you're drunk. Actually, in the moment you're drunk, estoy en pedo.
Okay, for example, I'm in a club, so I'm like, estoy en pedo.
Yes.
Okay, how about...
If I see you like dancing, China, ¿estás en pedo o qué? Are you drunk or what?
Okay, how about the next day, hangover?
Hangover is resaca.
Yeah, because in Mexico they say, ¿cómo se dicen en México?
Resaca, ¿no?
No, cruda.
Cruda, okay.
Ajá.
Yeah. No, in Argentina is resaca.
How do you use resaca in a sentence?
Tengo una resaca de mierda.
Okay, guys, remember that when you're out partying in Argentina or in Buenos Aires, the next day you're gonna be like, I'm with a hangover. Tengo resaca de mierda.
Sunday, you eat an asado and then hangover is over.
Now let's move on to our next word. What is our next word, Marie?
Next word, a verb, for example, you can hear if you're in Argentina something about changa, especially if you're traveling, for example, for a long time. If you do changa, it's like a job you have for a short time. Usually it's not well paid. We use it a lot for constructions, men or something like comes to your house and make some things.
So for example, if I work in a hostel in Buenos Aires, that's a changa?
It's not a formal job. For example, for 2 or 3 days, it's like a changa. A changa is something you, for example, if you travel to Argentina and you are good, I don't know, like making the stuff of the house or something. No sé cómo se dice arreglar. ¿Cómo se dice los arreglos de la casa?
Clean.
No, los arreglos, arreglar un televisor, arreglar eso, no sé qué cosa, esas pueden
Repair.
ser. ¿Cómo?
Repair.
Repair, okay. If you travel to Argentina, for example, you are good repairing stuff from the house or something, and you want to do something like that, for example, you go and repair the TV or something, it will call a changa. It will be called a changa.
Changa. In Peru they say chamba.
Sorry?
In Peru they say chamba.
Chamba is something, but chamba usually, for example, here in Mexico, you use it like a synonym from a job.
Aha.
Chamba
right.
is a job. But in Argentina, the special thing with this word, changa, is that it's referred to something you use it just for a very short time, you do it for a short time, and usually it's not well paid. That's why we call it changa. Like people give you whatever they think, Like,
okay.
They give you some money. Example, some ways to call the cops for police. We have like especially two words. One is chuta. We don't use it as much. Chuta is most from criminal language, You can call the cops also cana, When you say, ahí viene la cana, or está la cana, it's the police.
Okay, so it's like, there go, the cana is there. We should run.
Especially from teenagers, young people, they never say police is coming. So you will say, la cana está viniendo.
Wow, that's I've never used that before. I use a lot of Argentine words, but I've never used that before because I always say, viene la policía. It's funny because in my country, in the Philippines, chuta is like puta, but it's a S-H-U-T-A. Okay, then we will proceed to our word number 7.
Okay, I will teach you a good word. Birra. Okay. You know what the birra is?
Yes, Marianela is saying that in Argentina, they do not use cerveza.
We use birra. Of course, we can say cerveza, everybody will understand. But if you are between friends or something, you can say, let's take a beer. Tomémonos una birra.
In Argentina, if someone says cerveza, do you automatically know that they're foreigners?
No. not especially with that word. Everybody says cerveza, but you can say like a more colloquial way, una birra. It will be a more informal way to say cerveza. Like you can say cerveza and it's fine.
I used to use that, but now I just stick to cerveza because that's what everyone understands. If I use birra here in Mexico, they wouldn't really respond, or they will, huh? They will ask you twice.
No, it's most typical from Argentina.
All right, let's move on to our eighth word, which is
zarpado. It's the word used a lot in Argentina. It doesn't have like a meaning. For example, it's something that is too much. You know, when you want to exaggerate something, you say that's zarpado. You know, that it's a lot. So
okay, give an example.
This car is like, wow, this car. You can say, este auto está zarpado. So nice, so expensive or something. You can say zarpado to refer to those adjectives, you know. Or you can say, la fiesta estuvo zarpada. It was a really good party, you know. Estuvo zarpada, estuvo really fun, a lot of people, music, drinks or something. You can use zarpado. If you are coming to Argentina and you say it in a sentence, is really typical from Argentina.
Yeah. Okay, now we will go to our last word. What is our last word for today's lesson?
It's a really old word, but it's usually very used in Argentina. Quilombo. You have heard about quilombo for sure. Quilombo is something that is such a mess, you know? You can say this house is like really dirty or something, or esta casa es un quilombo.
Does quilombo have a feminine word or just quilombo for everything?
El closet es un quilombo. Este país es un quilombo. We use it a lot to refer about Argentina, you know, about politics and all the stuff. So you can say like, this country is a mess. Este país es un quilombo. You know, it doesn't have rules and it's a mess.
Like so, it's a mess or crazy.
Yeah, something like that.
All right. Thank you so much for teaching us today, Marianela. We really appreciate it. And guys, I hope that you learned something from Marianela. You can follow her on Instagram. I put her Instagram in below if you have any questions about Argentine Spanish slang. So bye, Marianela. Thank you.
Okay, bye. See you soon.